When I find discarded wood, I'm challenged to give it a second life. I approach a reclaimed wood project by first cutting off less usable parts and figuring out what lengths of lumber I have available. I make relative cuts. I measure and cut one piece to the length I want and then use it as a guide for making fairly accurate twin cuts. In most of my work with reclaimed wood, having the pieces even with each other is more important than achieving to-the-inch measurements. I had over 43 inches of 1x4s to horizontally span the 1x2 supports. After squaring off the ends, I cut the usable inches of this board into two 20-inch planks. When a board has nail holes, saw marks, or other gouges, I test to see if I can find salvageable length from the board. In this case, I used a 20-inch plank to see if this board would be a good candidate. I scored off the ends, then made my relative cuts using the 20-inch plank as a guide. The reclaimed wood itself helps determine the size and outcome of the project. In many ways, when I create something, I act as a mediator in a dialogue between the medium and the medium's potential. I was able to salvage the best parts of 3 boards for this art project. Once the pieces were cut, I measured the height of the 4 planks and played with different canvas layouts. If I wanted gaps between the boards, I could keep the dimensions 20 by 15. I decided to go without gaps, and I trimmed about 1 inch off from the 1x2 vertical supports. 80 grit and 120 grit sandpaper helped me remove the rough outer layer from the boards, revealing a noticeable difference. Now I could assemble the pieces for a roughly 20 by 14 inch reclaimed wood canvas. I repurposed an old cleaning bottle, which I cleaned out well, for applying wood glue. I filled the bottle out of my gallon jug of Titebond 2 to assist in joining the edges of the boards. I did not have long clamps, so the chemical bond of the glue will be secondary to mechanical fastening. I used one of the cut-off pieces to help me keep things aligned. I measured ring shank nails we had in our garage, making sure they were just long enough, then wiped up squeeze out. Applying glue to the 1x2 supports and hammering them into the horizontal plank was the next step. Not having long clamps is a challenge, so I was careful to realign the boards as I went along. Everything lined up surprisingly well. I used 180 grit to quickly sand the surface of the assembled canvas, slightly rounding over the edges and preventing any roughness or splintering before painting. I wanted to keep a relatively rustic look, so I did not sand for long. After wiping clean of dust, the reclaimed wood canvas was ready for a design, which I'll show in the next video. Thank you for learning with me. Until next time.